Oh, thank goodness, yes, man. The one, the rock I can lean upon. The one that won't get weird. The one that won't make me uncomfortable. Ah, the yes, man. I mean, you'd never let me down, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I mean, like, this was a good show, right?
Anyway. See ya.
The fact that we could still hear you over your normal mic made that doubly funny, I think.
Par for the fucking course, Bryce.
Oh.
Par
Oh
for the
my
fucking
God.
course.
Hey, it's going to be a short after show, y'all. Fucking just heads up. Let's take a look at some show titles here at nightattack.showbot.tv. Like Anal Bar.
I'm going to take all that on me, by the way. That nobody else shares blame for this episode except for me.
Oh, no.
I brought all the bad vibes.
No,
I just want to put
not
that
bad
out.
vibes.
Hey, can I say sincerely
good.
that I think you and I had very different experiences, because I thought you were very, very funny. I thought the game was very, very funny. I thought there was a lot of love. I thought there was a lot of sincerity. I thought it was a very, very good episode. The only thing that like the weakest part was the first act, where we tried to pretend everything was normal. It was when we got groovy that everything got really, really fun and good. It seems like chat had a good time. It seemed like I know I had a good time.
I don't need. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah. The show is what it is. If you didn't like it, blame me. If you loved it, then it is the world's bounty.
Let's take a look at some shit titles here.
Fucking Nissan.
Including Anal Bar. The F word is fuck. For those who play the game, the real F word is the friends we made along the way. Which I think maybe does pay off maybe a little bit.
That's
Really
number one. That's actually just that's a t-shirt.
The COVID kid. Oh no, science is working this one.
Oh, that was one of my favorite moments. That moment where both Justin and I turned on you, like, oh motherfucker, no, you're going down with us. we're the drowning swimmer that clutches the lifeguard.
Let's see. Joseph Brushwood, kid COVID. It's Meryl's fault. Paragliders against cancel culture.
I don't know what that is.
Not attack. Turn off this episode. Anal blank.
That's
No.
no. Get that. Turn off this episode. Get that one up there.
Anal blank. Anal tweets. Anal prison riot. Extraordinarily lazy. Drama dog. The answer is always fuck. And gets canceled. It's not, quote, that bad. It wasn't, yeah.
Dude, fuck all y'all. This was a fucking blast.
Googling the cocaine cowboy. Hashtag night attack is over party. A bunch of anal ones. Anal avalanche. Anal
No,
dragon.
nothing anal.
Only 2 minutes.
Actually, only 2 minutes is pretty good.
Go to hell, you giant donkey dick? I don't remember.
That's what Scott said to me after I
Yeah.
said, I wonder if the internet would be more pleasant if everybody ended with a smiley. And then he said, go to hell, giant donkey dick. And then gave a smiley.
Let's see. Cloudy with a chance of COVID. I'm sorry, Fupoyut. I just don't know how to say that. The other F word. ER, emotional reality. Let's see. The blank is too dangerous. Let's see.
We're playing this game, Brian. that was a funny that was a funny correction. Like, what the fuck are you doing? We're in the middle of a bit. Leaving on a jetpack.
I like that one. Pucker factor 11.
That's not bad. I don't know if the equals messes up the RSS feed or something.
It should be fine. Let's see. We're in the zeros now, so Anything you see, let me know and I'll highlight it. Anal penny farthing. The real F word is anal outback? I don't know. I think you mixed a little too many chocolates with your peanut butters.
Scared of my own tweets is not bad in that it hints what we get to. Who's the cuck? Oh my God, Justin, can you believe that you wrote that tweet exactly, presciently?
I mean, yeah, I don't like. The thing is, like, what do I even do with it, right? Like, do I go out and be like, I tweeted like Trump? Like, I guess everybody's like, it's like, oh, well, hooray for me. I guess at a certain point within the last 10 years, I probably should have pointed it out.
Okay, well, so these are the ones that we had a reaction to. What do you like best?
What's the vote at on them?
The highest voted is anal bar. Anal bar.
That's no. I really like the real F words.
Was that was in the show? No, because I cleared this after.
Pucker Factor 11 I like, but also turn off this episode. Both of them convey that there's something there, and you might want to listen.
I kind of like
the real F word is the friends we made along the way is probably the most salient and funny contextual thing we've ever that has ever come out of this show. But that being said, it's too long for a title, so I would say either only 2 minutes or
only
leaving
2
out a
minutes.
jetpack.
I like only 2 minutes.
Let's do only 2 minutes then. Thank you to Vrin10 and everyone who submit show titles using the Bangus command here in the chat room. I just need a moment to...
Oh, my goodness.
Justin, you were mentioning a funny story about our friend Jack A.M.
No. If I say it now, it's going to involve you doing work. So do your work and then bring this back up because it's going to involve... Like if I said it during the show, we could have let it pass on and then you would have had to look it up in the after show. But now that we're in the after show, as soon as I say it, you're going to have to look it up.
Gotcha. Okay, give me a minute here.
I know you're exhausted. In the pre-show, we talked about how I did everything yesterday, and then got once I went to bed after. Can we talk about the vow? I watched the vow, thinking I would drift off to sleep, and then I was up for 3 more hours, and then only got like 2.5 hours of sleep. It was terrible.
It's cult stuff, man. There's just something about cult stuff that makes you cult and serial killer stuff that, like, when it's good, when it's like, well, let me put it this way. When you respect the cult and when you respect the serial killer, there are like no two other forms of like documentaries where you're like all in. You're like, oh, these guys actually cracked something about like human evolution or how to get away with something that I need to know more about it.
And I know you and I have a shared infatuation with Scientology. When I was watching The Vow, which is a secular science, again, but it's like, it was astonishing how 1 for 1 everything tracked to Scientology and nobody saw it. Except
Scientology is about a spiritual void, and The Vow is about an intellectual void.
I don't know. Maybe I've read more about Scientology. Like Scientology, science is literally in the title. Scientology
yes, and
so is ology.
Who they're going after, and the moments like what they are like. As well as anybody, it's about the audience that you're talking to. Like when you're out in Haight-Ashbury, saying like, I have a thing like that's really more about science than it is about religion, then it's different than the people that are coming to The Vow, which are more or to Nixium, which are like, no, I want to like, I'm already doing okay. There's just this little thing in my life that I need to like fix. Like, and we are looking at these cults before they become their own success replicating engine, which is really the like the
franchises,
cults, where they become successful because it's like, oh well, I know somebody successful that's doing this, so I should do this as well. But it's like that to me was a meaningful difference in like, yes, everything you said in terms of the one for one.
Structurally, like you
Yes.
you have a visionary leader who discovered a thing, and bombastic claims are made about all the achievements that he's had. You have a structure with levels and unlocks and things that are all involved in rapidly expanding. You have transformative experiences with scientific sounding names instead of auditing. They call it whatever their EMs, I think they call it, or whatever. You have titillating experiences, as we talked about on that happy hour, and then the I mean, it was and irrationally exuberant claims about what this new technology can accomplish.
One big. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Give me your top line.
Like,
give me your top line.
No. Like, I started texting you about 2/3 the way through the episode because I got it from here, and then they dropped a "we cured Tourette's," and I was like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck your face, fuck you, motherfuckers, fuck all y'all." Audio listeners, you've already been primed to know what that means.
Yeah. One very key difference in terms of the one for what you're saying. Nixium hides their guru, whereas Scientology made you read a book with the guru's name on it. So it's like they're making you read the works of, like, it's the Bible written by God, right? And then you're like, oh shit, God's got this motherfucker spitting, right?
Spitting fire.
Whereas Nixium was like, no, Vanguard did all this. And you're like, whoa, who's Vanguard? Which again keys into this idea of the intellectual curiosity of like, no. All these dummies are just going to go along with the fact that there's a Vanguard doing something. I'm going to find out who it really is, which of course leads the most susceptible people right to the person. Again, it's like when you look at it as a fly trap, you're like, damn, this fucking trap catches flies. Like, there's a reason why the paper is spiral. It's and you don't even know where it goes.
I know. You know what? If you want to spoil for me, a little thing called the news.
Reminds. There's God. I don't want to. There's a booking I want to get for the show because I think there's someone we could get who is directly involved in this.
Oh, really? Okay, but then let's stop talking and talk about Jack AM. Unless
I was going to yell the spoiler. Do you not want me? I can put my hands down, Brian. If you want me to put my hands up, you can tell me to put my hands up. I can put my hands down wherever you want them to go.
I'm going to find out before the end of it. Yell the spoiler.
Sex cult.
Oh, is the sex cult part not yet in the show? I
thought
that was a fundamental
thing. They somehow
thing.
avoid saying that in the first fucking episode.
Wow.
Nope. Yeah.
I was genuinely shocked. I was like, I knew at least that much.
They even lay it out. They lay out the fact that Nixium is the umbrella corp, and then there's a billion different little companies under it. Some of those companies, they get specific.
Wow.
Oh, like the idea of compartmentalization, it gets specific, at least according to reporting and lawsuits.
Wow.
So
also, like,
the valve.
It's funny because learning a little bit about production, it's like I start to do the math and I'm like, okay, so this guy, he's there and cooperating with them, and this other person is there and cooperating with them, and so you're figuring out like, okay, I'm guessing they survived this, or and then you hear other people who very clearly are calling from a prison cell phone or a prison payphone, and it's like, okay, so I'm guessing it doesn't work out well for that person. Like, context clues.
Here's all I'm gonna say. If you know somebody working on a genre television show, like Smallville or Battlestar Galactica.
That part really upset me.
Just tell them they're really nice and they're very worth it, and they should not fall into, like, for whatever reason, like both Battlestar Galactica and Smallville got preyed on by this fucking weird ass cult. Like, just tell them that they're great.
Also,
tell them that
Aunt
we
Beru.
all love them. We all love them.
Aunt Beru.
Oh yeah, prequel Aunt Beru.
Yeah.
Prequel Aunt Beru. She's like a main character.
Oh, that was my fifth thing. Is right down to the understanding that the Hollywood fetish that Scientology has, the connectedness, the celebrity status. They they're celebrity centers and all that shit. Like
Although,
1 for 1.
Well, I mean, although I would say cults, if they can get into Hollywood, every cult wants to get into Hollywood. That's like, it's like, oh, like both Jerry Rice and Michael Irvin played in the NFL. Yeah, because that's where the best people
football
play.
players go. Yeah, right.
Like, it's like, oh, a lot of money and a lot of influence, and people will just do a thing blindly because they say so. Yeah, if you could be in the Hollywood game as a cult, that's like the best place to possibly be. And Scientology has obviously done it better than anybody else. All right, Bryce, I'm going to yell a thing.
Okay. I've got the VODs.
And then I'm going to go pee. And then I'm going to go pee. No, it's not even on Jack AM. Like, I mean, I'm going to tell you a thing that they saw. I literally just tuned in, watched it. I had no idea what the fuck was happening, but apparently they were going through a tweet thread. Apparently it's a trend enough that people are Twitter quantifying it. Yeah. Oh, do you know it?
I
you
might
know it already.
I might know it.
If you are recoiling in horror, then that is the correct response. When I yell a thing, I'm gonna go pee and then I'm gonna come back.
Just make sure it's the right F word.
TikTok tweens and teens are making Holocaust videos.
Yes. This is a... So here's the insider.com headline. TikTok creators are pretending to be Holocaust victims in heaven in a new trend dubbed trauma porn. So they've got some examples here. Like here's one. Let's see here. Here the text says, "Oh, hi, welcome to heaven." So it's a woman with very like kind of heavy contouring makeup, kind of in a black and white filter. "Hi, welcome. How did you die? And why do you look like that?" It says the text box. The text says, "I died by gas chambers in Auschwitz." And the text reads, "I am so sorry. Thank you." End of video. Oh, fuck, I had not seen that one. End of video. Let's see here. Here's one. The caption on this is POV. The girl who died in the Holocaust tells you how it happened. And so this is kind of a fair-skinned girl with some makeup on to kind of make her look a little shackled. The text says, "I was in my home making a stew." The text says, "And the Nazis came and they broke down my door. And they started kicking me and beating me out of my home. They shoved a bunch of us on a train with a bunch of other people from my town. And we were all going to the same place. Auschwitz." And there's not even a joke there's not even a punchline. Some of these also, so like that one is like, okay, well, we're trying to describe the world as it was happening. But some of these, Justin, and some of these I think are I feel like that's trying to set the stage of like, okay, like things were actually bad. It seemed normal, and it was boiling a frog.
Okay, all right. To be fair, I have...
He broke his flip-flop.
Tell me you were at least able to see me crawling out.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'll be right back.
Okay, Ryan will be right back.
To be fair, I don't know anything other than them crawling through on Jack AM this morning the cringiest versions of these. So I don't even know the form of it. I assume that at some point there is somebody. Look,
So there, I understand it to be in at least now 2 different formats. The ones that we saw earlier, just a second ago, which are like just a person with like a lot of makeup and like really sad music saying like, "Yeah, they got me," and then something like this, which was I didn't even watch it with the sound on because I was in a voice chat with other people. But here's one. I don't even know what I'm about to watch. So this is like a modern boy wearing a hoodie. Oh, he's lip syncing to the song. Oh God. So at that break, at that new measure, he ducks down, comes back up, and he's wearing like a heavy pinstripe dress shirt.
So this apparently is a meme. It's this Bruno Mars song, Locked Out of Heaven, which, good God, try to dissect the things. Look, the reason why I brought this up is because I realized I'm old. This is not me trying to understand this. This is me being a 90-year-old looking at the Dougie and being like, that's not dancing. Like I don't understand it. I don't get it. I am not here to say anything other than,
oh right, I forgot about this one where
would I not do this?
I forgot about this one where she pantomimes getting shot. I can understand. Okay, so hear me out. I can understand some.
Whoa! I'm getting people texting me saying, "Read the chat room." The point of what I was saying is that a horrifying thing is happening on TikTok. Like, okay, so yes, if you find it horrifying and offensive, my point is it's horrifying and offensive. We cannot watch any of them. The point is not to keep watching them. The point is to point out that the Zoomers are fucking weird, and I wanted to point that out because I saw it on another latter millennial talk show, and I want to repeat that content because I found it horrifying. That's my point.
Yeah. I see a lot of problems with it. I see a lot of those formats seem fucking weird. I also see where some of this shit just looks like a social studies project. So just bizarre.
Yeah, look, I mean, all I'm saying for everybody that's like, stop it. Like, sure, cool.
Yeah, we
just wanted to point out that it was a thing. I also don't, I didn't even understand where it began. Like, because I assume that is a meme trail that got into very weird places. I'm sure it started off as somebody's like Anne Frank homework that they decided to make a TikTok out of. And then that got big enough that it wound up becoming another thing and another thing and another thing. And then at a certain point, you're playing Bruno Mars where you're shaking your ass. And then then you're in, Dachau. Like, it's a weird way that TikTok evolves like that because it is its own very visual, very visceral medium.
I missed most of everything that was said because I was doing a bit, but
for the best.
It's weird that the closer you are to a tragedy, like I feel I can say things about 9/11 that nobody under a certain age is allowed to say, because I owned that tragedy. Like I experienced it and all of the pain and the consequences and everything. And as a result, I feel like I'm entitled to a bit of dark humor about it. If you'll remember, the Onion headline the very next day just said, "Holy fucking shit."
Holy fucking shit.
And then and it had this amazing satire of God, weeping. And I remember it was Jason Murphy that brought it to my attention where it's like God issues press statement. Like, what part of this 10 Commandments do you not fucking understand? And then like the article ends on this deeply bitter note of God breaking down into tears and silently crying, right? And then I don't know, because with enough distance, everything becomes fair games. Like if they were doing this about, I don't know, some Ottoman Empire slaughter in 1066 or whatever. My guess is it would.
Look, yeah, for them, like Bruno Mars's "Locked Out of Heaven" is the twist, right?
Right.
Like it's some old song.
I mean,
that has a break, and that's what it is. Like, for them, the Holocaust is something that is as ancient as a billion different horrifying things. Although obviously, America's relationship to the Jewish people is something that is very, very specific, as is evidenced by the fact that literally tonight our Secretary of State made a speech during a political convention from Jerusalem. Like there is a very, very, very specific relationship there that will make the Holocaust something that will be a hot button issue for a very, very, very long time. But certainly youth is about looking at the past as something less than what the very sharp feelings of a previous generation is. That's almost like the defining factor.
Yeah. I wonder if this is particularly. I mean, first of all, it's prickly because it's literally the worst, terrible thing that's ever happened in humanity all at once. Actually, I mean, I just had the horrifying thought that there's probably a lot of things that are much, much worse that just history hasn't conveyed correctly. God, that's horrific.
There's an entire industry where we're looking up serial killer situations that like didn't get media publicity. Like there's an entire entertainment complex built around digging up fresh tragedy.
Oh, no. I guess what I mean is like, if Dan Carlin was here, I would guarantee you he would be able to rattle off 17 things that were per death count and per horror worse than.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get anywhere near that conversation.
Right, exactly. And I guess, I mean, here's what I suspect is the outrage is not from people who were there. The outrage is from people who heard the stories from people who were there. Like a little bit older than us have grandmas.
I mean, we can have a broader conversation about tragedy. I don't want to get into the specifics of that tragedy. Sorry. Tragedy. I guess what I'm trying to do is properly quantified, in my opinion.
I'm trying to comprehend there was a visceral horror when Bryce read that. And there's a reason I did the bit where I crept out of the place, and I was sort of introspectively trying to figure out well, what's different about this, or I mean, there's all kinds of tragedies. Like why does this feel particularly repugnant? And I don't know. I don't know.
World War II and the Jewish population in the United States. I mean, that's the reason why, because World War II is a defining chapter in the story of a young yet very, very powerful nation. In fact, it is to date the defining chapter. Like there's no greater moment of the United States struggling and maybe not winning. Like everything else is us like kind of stepping on our dick or doing something that like feels impressive, but ultimately in hindsight, it's like, oh, great. Yeah, you knocked over a country. Cool.
And also I think there's a certain amount of people who look at the atrocities that happened there and see parallels to current events, where the relevancy and the topicalness of it
Sure.
Yeah.
But meanwhile,
but I think that's sewed into the fabric because it is our defining chapter. It's not like people are like, oh, this is like Fortress America. Nobody fucking remembers Fortress America, even though that was like a defining characteristic of like 30 years in American history. And that was isolationism. That was strong borders. Like nobody gives a shit about that anymore. But because World War II was World War II, that is what it is. And so when we look back to define our current history, it's not that we're looking back through all of history.
Oh, Justin, I think you dropped out for
We're
us.
looking back.
Oh, okay.
There you go. You dropped out on the Opal at that last couple of sentences, Pimp.
You're not looking back at all of history. When you're looking back at history, you're looking back at the history that's most poignant for Americans. And so World War II is going to be very, very large, because it's the last time that America really, like, there was a question. Is America going to be America? Like, apparently Hitler was like looking for houses in LA, literally, like of where his headquarters was going to be in America. So it's like, that's the closest we've gotten. And then we became the king of the world. So like, that will forever be a part of it. And then the Jewish population in America that has then settled here over the past several decades is, damn near a decade or a century now, is going to be the other part of it. But yeah, the Holocaust will always be a major part of American history.
Can I throw something out there, thoughtful? We can have a thoughtful moment in the post show. I just was running through everything and realized that we spent the bulk of the main episode raging at cancel culture or the idea that a past thing that we did could come back to haunt us or whatever. And then the moment we got to the post show, we engaged in the exact activity that we expressed rage against. We both shamefully left the screen while Bryce explained that kids are doing, Holocaust humor or whatever. And yet our community has, for years, like, it's a running joke that we put Pol Pot in every poll. I don't know why Pol Pot is known to be such a terrible figure. And yet we, like the teenagers we just mocked, have engaged in using that as a punchline for a decade now. And I'm reconsidering. I feel like we got to pick a lane. I feel like we either need to.
Well, hold on. I think we need to establish where we're at on some of those priors that you just set up there, because number
I don't think we
one,
were trying to cancel any kids by
No,
talking
but-
about
but-
I think we were
that was the underlying
we were
comedy.
understanding
Right.
I just wanted to know. I literally just saw Jack and Kate going through these. I had no idea what the hell they were even about. They just seemed very odd to me, and I wanted to understand them. I figured TikTok teens are making Holocaust videos would be a joke that we could, then, have a conversation on. By the time that I came back, the chat was already like, whoa, what's going on? And so I still don't even know what the memes of the Holocaust TikTok teens are. As for the Pol Pot thing, like, hey, look, man, I started leaving that off like years ago, and I do know what Pol Pot did.
Sure,
It
sure.
was
Well,
gross.
and I suppose I'm asking all of us to take a introspective moment to. I guess we're all getting old, because when you're young, everything is fake and everything's a story, and you try to figure out, oh, that's the thing that makes everybody sensitive. What's a way to twist it? And you do it, and then you get old, and I think we've all gotten old together as a community. I mean. I think of Kuhan, who was a teenager when he was watching us in the beginning, and is in his 20s now, and we all grow to understand what we're playing with, and then we grow to a place where we have something to lose, and then as today's episode reflected, the reason it was a fun to me, apparently less to Justin, terrifying game was because we were playing with radioactive dynamite because we have something to lose. And I guess that's the progression. And the man, what a weird night that so many things would serendipitously tell a narrative that I'm not equipped to process yet. I don't know. I feel real complicated things right now.
Go ahead, Bryce.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we were trying to cancel any kids over the thing.
No.
So I don't know.
Sorry.
I'm still trying to process we need to change something about us.
No. Whoa.
I'm sorry. I'm on defense about that.
A thing.
So
you're processing a thing I did not say.
you said we need to pick a
Well,
lane.
you said
You're-
pick a lane.
Oh,
Yeah.
word for word, we need to pick a lane.
Wait, yeah.
Sorry.
What do you mean by that?
Let me to rephrase. If we feel, I realize. Sorry, we don't need to pick a lane. Nobody needs to pick a lane ever. But we do need to acknowledge that comedy sometimes says terrible things, and that's why it's comedy, and it makes something out of tragedy. And comedy needs tragedy in order to have that punch. When I introduced Josie to Rick and Morty, she said, "Oh my God, like, I mean, it's funny, but the fact that it was so terrible just made it chef's kiss." And I think that's the lane that we like. But what we, I guess what we need to make clear is that we're not actually shaming any of the TikTok kids for doing this, and that is a natural comedic instinct. Maybe
Sure.
that's
I don't
the
think that
only-
we were. The problem with this is both of you were away from the conversation for half of it. So like none of these were jokes, Brian. Just FYI, these were like not bits. That it wasn't like they were trying to do a comedy punchline thing.
They were just telling the story.
They were basically bad social studies projects.
They were awkwardly doing an explanation of the horrors of the Holocaust. Unfortunately, they are young kids, and they're using the medium of TikTok, for which is an inherently exuberant and entertaining platform, and so therefore it is discordant.
Well, and the headline, "Kids on TikTok are making videos of the Holocaust," is sweet clickbait gold. So maybe that's okay. Again,
So
processing.
Yeah, Justin,
I mean, they weren't doing Andrew Dice Clay bits, right? Like it wasn't something like super like we're trying to be offensive. Hey, we're Zoomers, and they're putting a vape pen behind their head, like
that would be funny.
It's not
Zoomer Andrew Dice Clay would be
Zoomer Dice Clay, yeah. Hickory dickory dock.
Nope.
They them are sucking my.
if I can,
go ahead.
I was gonna maybe transition to a different topic.
Okay,
You have more
let me
thoughts
just
on
wrap
this.
up by saying that, like,
I feel like Zoomer Dice Clay had some blanks. All right. Go ahead.
let me just wrap up by saying, like, if anything, the last 3 hours have been about, like, gosh darn it, I wish we weren't all terrified for various reasons of various things. Like, I wish we could all understand.
Come on,
it.
we're all going to hell. Whatever. Like, it's like if I worry sometimes about, like, not that I said something awful that would ruin my career. I fear that I deserve it.
No.
And I fear that I'm going to find it out. I fear that I'm going to find it out in front of all my friends. And that's what the fear was. The fear is that, like, and I don't think Meryl or Bryce would pick it out, but like that then people would go back and then somebody's going to find a thing and then it's going to land like a turd in the punch bowl. And then, like, I'll have nothing to say but, yep,
By the
I
way,
did it. I did it, and I said it. Like, you know, and that'll be that. And then I have to build from there. And it's like anything else. It's like anything else in our lives. I mean, really, this is a lesson about therapy. It's not that you did a bad thing. The bad thing might not have even been all that bad. It's that you have to face it. And more specifically, you have to face the fact that you have felt shame about it. You've had to feel like defense about it, whether or not you knew it existed, whether or not you acknowledged it, whether or not you remember it. Like, you have to face the trauma that you've inflicted on yourself. And that, I think, is what the big thing of being any kind of figure that people give a rat's ass about, or people are interacting with. And Brian, you have a bigger target than I do, but like the existential dread of the cancel culture thing, whatever you think about it, is more that, oh no, you also did a thing, and this is a time bomb that's waiting to blow up. And I think we mistake that with morality. We mistake that with thinking, oh, if you think that, you must be a bad person, where I don't think that that's the case. I think that in general, if everybody's got, if anybody in our mind can have a card flipped over and then there's a congratulations, you have to start over, that's an existential fear. That's something that you are, that you build up plaque to.
Man, how wild was it? That this was the episode, and maybe we saw it through a certain lens, but that the mail question was, "Hey, what was it like to have all the magicians turn against you?" Like,
again, that's an hour conversation.
Yeah,
I could
sure.
really, I feel like you're in a position now where you can talk about it in a realistic way that you really couldn't before. And yeah, I certainly have. I have thoughts that I can say to 2020 Brian that I could not say to, 2014, 2015 Brian.
Yeah, I know. And
cool story, bro.
No, come on.
No, sorry.
Fuck off. I also think whenever, I don't know, cancel culture as a topic comes up, I don't know, I don't tend to chime in on this very much, but I think there's a very weird amount of individualism placed on the public and not corporations that make the wrong calls. If you look at the James Gunn thing, that was Disney making the wrong call, and they noticed it, and it took them many years to fix that. And that's not just because people had thoughts and opinions, and there are websites dedicated to sharing your thoughts and opinions. That's because a corporation made it's hard to call it objectively the wrong call, but like that's
what seems
it's
certainly objectively an unpopular call.
Here's the thing.
It's motivated by capitalism, not by any one person saying, I think we should get him fired, because there's no one out there saying, I think right, maybe mad or no, that's
no. There are people that screamed it. Here's my point though, and I want to acknowledge what you've said, because I think that has been my point of view. I've been intensely distrustful of structures and my entire adult creative life. Like, I agree with you, Bryce. The problem with James Gunn is that he put his trust in a system for which could hurt him.
Powered by shareholders and a board that don't know who he is and don't care, but understand the sound of a liability calling, and then just,
yes, it was Disney, but it could also be a university, and it could also be a corporation. It could also be a small business. I work for myself. Anybody else I work with is on contract. Now, that might be, to some people, one of my best friends, Brian Brushwood, has described me as maybe not as ambitious as I could be, because I don't want to get into some of these systems. I don't want to put myself out. I don't want to audition. I don't want to try to shake my shingle to be a part of a larger conversation. And that is part of a internal distrust that goes beyond cancel culture. That is something that like I feel deeply. So when Bryce, when you say, hey, the problem here is that they had a boss and that boss reacted irresponsibly, boy, do I fucking feel that. Because whenever I see these situations, boy, do I feel the fact that, yo, your problem was you had a boss. But if you want to play with larger platforms, you do have to.
Yeah.
And so the larger issue is if there is we're in this bizarre adolescence where like we did some things and now we can see some things and they feel novel and they bounce around like particles in our social media world. When there's that amount of chaos, if you've got anything to lose, boy, is there a knot in your stomach. And I got this big of a knot. I can only imagine what people who have fucking a lot more to lose than me have, whether or not they have done, they've minded their P's and Q's and threw their goddamn jacket in the mud every time that they were escorting their grandmother to Sunday school. I don't know if grandmas go to Sunday school. I'm sorry. I'm an atheist. But like if they did the nicest stuff on their earth, right? Like, I guess grandma's teaching the Sunday school. I'm recovered.
Oh, okay.
So, like, let's say they do that, or they have lived a life where they have just not remembered and they've tried to be funny, and now funny is a different thing than it was back then. You feel more like there's something to lose, not because there is a system for which you can be punished for it, but because you didn't realize that was the bargain. The bargain before was you say things privately, you do things publicly. Well, and now all of that is gone.
In comedy clubs now, some of them have like codes of conduct of like you're not going to say certain things. And comedy clubs, of course, were the land of subversion. It's where you went to hear things that you would never hear in polite society. Yeah, I don't know.
I got one last thing here. We can wrap it up.
Okay.
Justin, I'm going to show you something, and I need you to pronounce it for me.
Oh, yeah.
How would you say this? R-E:.
Re.
Wow, unbelievable.
Oh, God
I can't
damn
fucking
it.
believe
What
it. We
the
need to.
fuck?
We're canceling.
Fucking shut this show down. It's over. It was a good run. Good night. Fucking.
Out of here.
We found the cancelable moment. God damn it. God damn it.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back.
I think you know a guy.
Happy hours at 4:00 Central. Justin R. Young every night this week for the Republican National Convention. Really, Justin?
No,
yeah.
Don't keep saying it.
Wait. The more you say it, the worse it gets.
You say reply?
We say Ray.
No. Save it for TikTok, my friend.
That's Ray to me. That's Ray.
It's Ray.
It's Ray.
Ray. Oh, the hero of Star Wars. Yeah,
Oh.
Ray.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Mary Sue.
Yeah,
First of all, you don't
cool.
even say it. You say regarding. You say that's what it's about.
Or replying.
No.
I was
That's
reading
not
this
reply. It's
blank.
regarding. Like you put in it's like it's a. This message is about.
Are you on Team
this
Re
thing.
now?
No, it's Ray. First of all, it's Ray for Ray guarding. It's or regard. Oh
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
RE:, a female deer.
All right.
Justin R. Young through the rest of the week, Republican National Convention. I'm doing a stream on Friday, and I might do something on Saturday. I found a fun thing that might be on Saturday or Sunday.
Nice.
Everybody have a good rest of your week. Bye.